Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from one of our curious viewers, Krusty Pickle 94. Thanks for the suggestion, Krusty. You asked, how does fermentation actually prevent food from spoiling? The magical process that keeps food fresh, tasty, and slightly funky in a good way. But how does fermentation actually prevent food from going bad? Why does letting food sit around with microbes sometimes make it delicious instead of deadly? And why do people throughout history look at rotten adjacent foods and think, yeah, I'll try that? Let's break it down right here on Explaining Everything. Fermentation works because it lets good microbes take over the neighborhood before the bad microbes even know there's free real estate. It's basically microbial gentrification. When you ferment something, you introduce or encourage specific friendly microorganisms, usually bacteria like lactobacillus or yeasts, that absolutely love sugar. These little creatures show up hungry, immediately start snacking, and multiply like they're at an all-you-can-eat buffet with no closing time. Now, here's the important part. Once they move in, they don't leave space for harmful bacteria to settle down. Dangerous bacteria are like that one coworker who shows up uninvited to your table at lunch, annoying, disruptive, and not allowed around anything edible. But the good microbes, they spread out, take all the nutrients, and make the environment so unfriendly for the bad guys that spoilage organisms just give up. They're like, nope, too crowded, too sour, not worth it. So, fermentation prevents spoilage partly through the simple strategy of first come, first serve, but with microbes that actually know how to behave. One of the most powerful weapons of fermenting microbes is acid. As they eat sugars, they produce lactic acid, acetic acid, or sometimes alcohol. And all of these act like a chemical security system for your food. Imagine harmful bacteria walking up to your jar of fermenting cabbage. They take one step inside and immediately get smacked in the face with a wall of acidity, like licking a battery. Most spoilage organisms can't handle low pH environments. They're dramatic. They want comfort, warmth, and neutrality, like a spa day. But fermentation creates the opposite, a sour, acidic bath that screams, go away. Lactic acid, in particular, is the star here. It punches the pH down so fast that harmful microbes can't even unpack their luggage. This acidity slows down or completely stops the growth of anything that would spoil the food. And the best part? The good microbes that created the acid are totally chill with it. They're like, yeah, I made this sour chaos. I love it here. So whenever you're eating something fermented, remember, you're basically eating food protected by a liquid force field created by microscopic overachievers. Another reason fermentation prevents spoilage is that it often happens in low oxygen or no oxygen environments. And many spoilage organisms absolutely need oxygen to throw their little bacterial house parties. When you pack vegetables under brine, seal a jar, or store the ferment in an airtight environment, you're essentially cutting off the oxygen supply. Harmful bacteria gasp like they just ran a marathon, while the good bacteria that thrive without oxygen are like, oh sweet, finally, peace and quiet. These oxygen-free conditions are perfect for lactic acid bacteria, which don't need oxygen and frankly prefer when nobody else can breathe. They take over, multiply, and keep pumping out more acids, which makes the environment even more hostile to spoilage organisms. Oxygen removal also slows down oxidation reactions, which are another cause of food going bad. So not only are you suffocating the harmful microbes, but you're also stopping the food itself from degrading. 2 problems solved with 1 sealed container. When microbes ferment your food, they produce all sorts of useful byproducts that act like natural preservatives. We already talked about acids, but that's just the beginning. Some fermentations produce antimicrobial compounds, tiny chemical bouncers whose whole job is to kick harmful bacteria out of the club. Things like bacteriocins, hydrogen peroxide, and alcohol all play roles in stopping spoilage. They interfere with the growth of unwanted microbes the same way an overactive mall security guard interferes with teenagers loitering near the food court. And these helpful byproducts don't need refrigeration. They don't need electricity. They don't need your pantry to be organized, though your pantry probably needs help. They just quietly maintain an environment where harmful microbes cannot thrive. So, fermentation creates a self-sustaining system. Good microbes make chemicals. Those chemicals protect the food, and the food stays good way longer than it has any right to. And that's how fermentation keeps your food from spoiling. By letting friendly microbes take over, souring the place just enough to scare off the troublemakers, and creating a tiny ecosystem where bad bacteria don't stand a chance. It's a controlled chaos that somehow turns into flavor, longevity, and a whole lot of microscopic teamwork. So the next time you bite into something fermented, remember, your food isn't just preserved, it's protected by an army of tiny, acidic bodyguards. If you enjoyed this video, or if you are now in the mood for some pickles, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.